welcome to the Young Vagabond podcast.
Yes,
man,
sir.
where we endure the journey of life together through the lens of truth and love.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh. We're finally here, man.
Episode 1, bro.
We're literally finally here. Like it's been crazy. Y'all, like we've been putting in so much work. We've been putting in work. Freaking, we got so many other people who've been doing work.
Yes.
The song that y'all just heard was produced by my man Sant Darius and Jake Santana.
Yes,
Bruh,
sir.
check him out, bruh. Wonderful dude, just like my brother for real. So man, we're here, bro. Like we're here now. I'm so excited. My headphones falling off, man. Like
This man.
shoot, bro. Shoot, man. We got so many people to shout out, bro. Like we got to shout out freaking like I said, Jake Santana, bro.
Yes,
We got to shout out. You know who we definitely got to shout out. We got to shout out the person who made the logo, who's been a part of this process from the beginning, bro. Like, price it. Tell them about our man Travis Willingham,
This
bro.
man, Travis, bro. Like, Travis is God sent for real. Like, you, bro, man, I can't even put it into words, bro.
He's sitting right here, like he's sitting right off camera too.
Like,
so he's
dude,
about to
I'm
hear all
so
this.
serious, bro. Like, Travis, you are such a blessing, bro. And like, man, like, gosh, man, it's making me tear up, dog. Like, you just you, bro. I thank God for you, man. Like, I can't even express it, bro. Just you a top tier dude, bro. You a top tier dude. And I mean that with everything in me, bro. Real talk.
Man, when I tell y'all, look, Travis was with us for like 4 hours, bruh, locking in, helping us make this logo, which every person that I talked to about the logo, we put a poll out about the logo, bro. Everybody said how fire, how awesome it is. So I'm not looking at the camera right now. I'm looking straight at Travis because I really want you to know, bro, like you have made, we couldn't have gotten here without all the work that you put in, you know, you being here right now, sitting with us, you know, helping us, taking some pictures for us, doing all that stuff. Like, you're really like the third person to this podcast. This podcast would not be here without Travis. And so we just really wanted to make sure that we shout you out.
Yes.
Before you even get to know us, we wouldn't even be here right now, sitting here recording with all this stuff. It had not been
Keeping us
for
hydrated.
Travis. Man, he freaking got us some Frescos. This is what it's called, bro. Shout out Frescos too, bro. Frescos is
For real.
top tier, bro. Got us some Frescos, bro. He didn't have to do any of that, man, but he still did it, bro. Like,
Yes, sir.
top tier dude, man. So Travis, we really love you because we would not have been here without you. And so we want to make sure we start a podcast off with that. Also, shout out Goat Tees, bro, because that's keeping me fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So y'all go check out Goat Tees on Instagram as well.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we here, man.
Yes,
So
sir.
now we got to let the people know what we're about. So Bryson, come on, like, how about you explain yourself? You know, tell the people who you are. You know what I'm saying?
This man, yo. So I'm Bryson Reeves from Batesville, Mississippi. I go to Mississippi State University with these young, wonderful men here. You know what I'm saying? Come from a nice family back home. Got 4 brothers, 3 younger, 1 older. So you can only imagine what that's like. I'm a marketing major, so you know I kind of know how to talk to people. I think. You know what I'm saying? Some of my passions, man, love shoes, love kicks. I love fashion. I love basketball. If anybody, any of our followers wants to come hoop with us, hey, let's make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
So
I'm just going to let my actions speak for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And, you know, we're here because we're passionate about Jesus. And it would be a disservice of me, you know, not to tell you how he's worked in my life. So, man, just growing up in the home that I grew up in, you know, everything wasn't perfect, but God was still moving. And he's been moving in my life since I was a little kid. You know, my grandma, who's always been there for me, pushing me to grow in Christ, my mother, my dad, and even, you know, God blessed me with younger brothers who've challenged me as a leader to grow as a man and to step into my purpose, my calling as a leader in Christ. So I thank God for my family back home. I thank God for my church family. Shout out Hosanna. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? Everybody around me, my community has been such a big part into my life and playing into who I am and just feeding into me as a person. And that's why we say we want to partner with you guys, because we know the power and the importance of community. Community is top tier, and that's one of the reasons, like I said, that I'm here today. So, you know, you've heard about me, you know, let's hear about DJ, man.
shoot, man. What about that? Praying grandma, bro. Praying grandmas, they
Sir.
some top tier human beings. But anyways, like you said, my name is DJ Hardy. Darian is my real name, but only my mom calls me that. So most people know me as DJ. I'm originally from Fort Worth, Texas. Shout out Fort Worth. Shout out Texas, the best state in the South. Very, very cocky about that. Anyways,
All right.
I have one sibling. My sister, love her very much, and my mom and my dad have an awesome family. They've been through it even when I wasn't doing the best, they were still always with me, and so I love my family. Shout out to my family. Like I said, grew up in Fort Worth, came here to Mississippi State as well. I'm a computer science major, freshman. Yes, engineering supremacy, all about that, man. Yes, so, man. And, like a little bit kind of into the window of my testimony, because, Jesus has been a really big part of my life, is the reason I'm here today.
Yes, sir.
And that's, a little bit just about me. I grew up in a very Christian home, but my faith wasn't really real to me until about my freshman year of high school, where I went to a church camp and just really fell in love with Jesus. And even then, after going through that, when COVID hit, there was some parts of my character that still hadn't been developed, and so they really reared their ugly head. And so I walked through a really tough time of depression and just a lot of dark thoughts and just in a dark place. And at one point I was ready to walk away from my faith and I was ready to give up being a Christian just because just all the difficulties. But just thanks to the love of community, like Bryson talked about, the love of my family, even when I wasn't the best to them, they kind of just really helped me get through that season and helped me start a kind of a journey of self-growth and developing myself through Christ. And so kind of like how Bryson said, like, we're here to partner with you, and we're here to basically, let you know a bit about what we know and what God has done in our lives, and basically provide wisdom to you. And so first off, we want to kind of unpack where the name came from. And shoot, bro, Young Vagabond. Young Vagabond, that's a hard name, right?
Yeah.
That's a crazy name, bro. Like, and it's just, throughout this whole process, look, God been with it, because that name just came out like out of nowhere, bro. Like, I mean, like we had Vagabond, I think, views or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we were both about to go to church, and then like we said, someone was like, Young Vagabond. And I was like, all right, I think I said that. And I was like, dang, that's hard. And then even then we were kind of looking for some other names, but it was like Young Vagabond hit. Because we were asking around and trying to figure out, like, hey, if we start a podcast, what would the name be? And one of my friends was like, 2 light skins and a microphone. And I was like, okay, so this is what we doing. This is how we finna go. 2 light skins and a microphone. But nah, the name, it stems from the term vagabond evangelism, which is about basically not being stuck to one place. Because a vagabond is someone who moves from place to place and is not stuck to one location. And so vagabond evangelism is about not being stuck to one location and moving from place to place to tell people about Jesus and to love other people. And so that's kind of the attitude that we want to adopt. And then as young people and as a youth, we are kind of, youth is not just an age factor, but it's a heart posture, and then it's a mentality. And as we kind of attain what the Bible says is childlike faith, we want to basically go throughout life with the hope and kind of the worldview of a child, working to be the best, see the best in everyone, believing wholeheartedly in things. And that's what we're really about. And so we are young vagabonds. We're wholeheartedly believing in the mission to go out and serve other people and love other people. And so that's the whole kind of name of Young Vagabond. So like, now that you know the name, you know who we are, a little bit about who we are. We'll get to dive in, hopefully, throughout the episode to who we are in better depths. But like, we've been promoting this podcast, and people have been like, what are y'all talking about? And we just been like, here's a little pitch, and we're not going to actually reveal it to you because we want y'all to watch. So
elevator pitch go crazy.
The elevator pitch been going wild, man. But shoot, man, start kind of let them know who we are, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as I introduced to y'all earlier, man, we're Young Vagabond. And here we're trying to, learn to endure the journey of life together through truth and love. So you may ask, what is truth and love, man? I'm trying to tell you. Truth is the wisdom that we've gained through life and experience, as well as from the people around us. And love is the commitment to live a life beyond ourselves. And this is what we think leads to righteousness. And we stand by saying this. We believe it leads to leading a true life, loving both God and people.
Yeah, man. So loving both God and people. That's really what we're about. And basically, this podcast is us partnering with you guys to grow together. And so, we've kind of introduced it. We are both believers. However, we want this podcast to be something that you can enjoy, whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, because we want this podcast to be about biblical truth. Practical wisdom backed by biblical truth.
Yes,
And so we've walked through life. We walked through some tough things. And I don't know, from my experience, maybe you have a different experience, but from my experience, the Bible does a pretty good job of telling you how to live a pretty good life. And so even if you're not a believer, or even if you don't really rock with the religious stuff or that whole Christianity stuff, we still think that there's something to get out of this podcast, because we've been going through life like everybody else. And even if you don't want to rock with everything, there's some pretty good stuff. There's some pretty good stuff in the Bible and walking the Christian life. And to me, it feels like the person who wrote it created life or something like that. But that might just be me. That's crazy.
Maybe.
Just
maybe. I might, we can go out on a limb here.
A little bit of a limb, bro. But no, basically, yeah. If regardless of who you are, this is not about us preaching at you, or doing anything about that. We are walking through life together. We are both college students. He is a little bit farther down the journey of college. Bryson is than me, as I've a freshman, he's a sophomore, but we're both still kind of going through all this, figuring it out, and we want that. So we're not coming to you from people who know everything, but people who want to work with you and kind of share what we've been able to learn through life, and be something that everyone can get something out of. So yeah. But basically, breaking that down, what are we looking to grow into? Kind of give them those principles, that we're looking into.
I got you. So me and DJ, we came together and we've fasted numerous times before we even set foot to start this podcast. And we felt like God gave us these 7 principles to stand upon as we, talk to you guys and connect. And we came up with grace and mercy, love and kindness, truth and wisdom, and the overarching theme is righteousness. So mercy comes from, forgiveness and withholding punishment. And we tie that with grace. And then kindness is selflessness or compassion. And we tie that with love. And then truth, that's what God is. It's in accord with fact. It's also, doing and being in God's will, consistent with him in an obedient manner. And that's where the wisdom comes in. And we see in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 6, that these principles bring favor with God and man. So that's why we wanted to talk to you guys about how we walk through these things and how we establish the podcast with these things.
Shoot, man, he brought up the fast, bro. Let me tell you, bro, brother was not finna make it. For those who don't know what a fast is, it's basically abstaining from food for a period of time for spiritual purposes. And so some people do it where they'll fast social media. I did that for 40 days before hopping back on. Sometimes it's, what biblically it is, it's food, but it can be, whatever thing that you feel like has been laid on your spirit to basically give up for a period of time to focus on your spirit and God. And so we did one right before the podcast, yesterday, and shoot, I had decided to fast music beforehand, so I hadn't listened to music in a week except for a couple worship songs here and there. I wasn't doing that, I took off social media the same day as well as fasting, so my dopamine levels were next to none.
Brother was starving.
Dude, I was starving. Let me tell y'all, bro, freaking. Then I went and took a nap, and so then I took the last piece of dopamine that I was receiving from talking to other people because I was in my room by myself. I woke up from that nap. I felt like death, and we had to be at a meeting, an interest meeting for an organization we're both looking into being in, and it was just Bryson knows, bro. I was over here just down, I'm talking my head down, bro. I did not want to speak to nobody. I was down bad. I was down bad.
Look, shout out to all your Texas friends, because look, bro, this kid, bro, I'm talking about DJ went from to I'm like, bro, we gonna make it. It's all right.
Right. I was like, Bryson, I'm not finna do. I'm finna. Somebody had ordered Domino's. It turns out the Domino's was actually for us, but I didn't know that at the time. And I was like, Bryson, I'm finna attack this Domino's worker, but he finna like just face punishment because I'm starving, like, and I'm just ready, bro. I was ready. Man, it was looking good, but hey, God got us through it. Because, shoot, man, what I tell you, bro, like, it wasn't good. It was.
Hey, it was good. It was good.
It was good, but it wasn't good at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now that you know our hearts, if this sounds like a journey that you want to be a part of, man, or you just are intentional about growing as a person, we encourage y'all to tune in.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like all of us. Well, I hope all of us who are watching this podcast are looking to grow in some area, whether it's growing your physical health, grow emotionally, grow spiritually, grow emotionally, whatever that looks like. Yeah. You're looking to grow in something. And like I said, we don't have all the answers, but what we do have, we want to provide to you and share. And, hopefully you can provide some wisdom to us. Our hope is to eventually have some other people on the podcast as well. And, you can hear some of their wisdom as we kind of dive deep and kind of ask some questions. And so, yeah, we just want to, like I said, it's a partnership. It's not us talking to you. It's not us preaching sermons to you. It's us doing life. And, that can be life in whatever area. Sometimes we'll talk about really deep things like relationship and sex and stuff like that. Or we might just spend an hour and a half, or not hour and a half, like a good 45 minutes talking about things like, oh, sorry. There's some people we know, they bro, that was crazy.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, so we got fans. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're gonna keep that in. We got some fans outside. They was being wild. Anyways, sometimes we'll just talk about music or I don't know, sports, and that's the conversation because that's living life, and those are things that happen in life. So,
yes, sir.
Anyways, Bryson, what do you want to get out of this podcast? Because we've kind of told them about who we are and stuff like that. But what are you hoping to get out of this podcast?
Me personally, man, I'm just trying to use my voice as an instrument to serve the Lord, serve the people, and also not only give out wisdom, but just grow and learn. Because I love hearing about other people's experiences, love learning from other people. So I feel like this is a good platform to open up, for conversations that needed to be happening. You know what I'm saying? That needed to happen. You know what I'm saying? They know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. What are you hoping to get out the pod, bro?
Man, I mean, it's just kind of like you. I mean, like, I've just walked through life, and I've walked through some tough stuff. Like, just, like I kind of said it a little bit, just some real bad depression. And, like, it was tough. It was some dark days, like, where I just was not content. I didn't even really want to live. And, God pulled me out of that. And, I had to work on myself. And it was tough. But it was worth it because had I not worked on myself, I'd have stayed in a comfortable place, but in a very, very dark place. And from, working on myself and God bringing me through that, it's allowed me to gain a lot of wisdom. And, like I said, I don't know everything at all. I will very humbly tell you that, like, I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. But that's okay because... yeah, most of us have no idea what we're doing, but what we do know, we want to share. And I want this to be an avenue to basically, talk about what I've learned and stuff like that, because that's important. I don't want to keep it all to myself. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff we got to share.
Hey, what good is knowledge if we don't share, bro?
Dang, bro, that's cool. We're gonna clip that. That's a clip right there.
You know what I'm saying? So I hear your hopes, man. But, like, why start the podcast, bro?
That's a good point, man. Well, shoot. Look, we got to tell them the story, you know what I'm saying? The story of how this all came together, man. Because the story, it's a wild story, bro. Like, it started out, like, what was that? One of our friends was like, y'all should start a podcast or something like that. What did they say? I forget.
Yeah, Dev Duncan Goatees.
Yeah, Goatees. Check it out on Instagram, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But this man, he heard me and DJ just goofing around and talking one day. And he was like, yeah, y'all should start a podcast. And then me and DJ were like, hey, we should start a podcast. We were just joking. And lo and behold, like, here we are.
Here we are, bro. And,
Sips.
I had to get a good sip of the Fresca. Like I said, shout out Fresca. You was joking about getting sponsored, but I'm trying to get sponsored for real, man. I got to pay off this college tuition. You know? You got the strawberry, I got the mango flavor. Like this is my first time with the mango. Shout out Travis again, because he got the mango flavor. And
Travis is that guy. We stand on that.
let me tell you, this junk good. I have no idea how this sounds on the mic. By the way, like this could be like ASMR level closeness because I did not take a step back.
This man. This kid.
And then all the people who are not watching a video and are just listening are just like, what is going on right now? So yeah, but yeah. What was I about to say? Oh yeah.
Why you start the pod, bro?
Right. Yeah. Kind of why did I want to start the podcast? Going back to it, just I wanted this to be an avenue where I could share my life experiences and hopefully people could get some wisdom out of everything that I've learned and that God has taught me. And so that's really what was important to me. And also shout out Tim Ross, bro, because Tim Ross,
Yes, sir.
if y'all like, what we're doing, check out Tim Ross, bro, because Tim Ross is just dope. I mean,
that guy.
I forget what you said, but he's basically just a trailblazer for being transparent
And vulnerability, man.
Yeah.
He champions that.
Absolutely champions it. And I know for me, y'all finna get to know me really well because I'm an open book. I'm finna just share. I'm just gonna tell y'all everything I didn't walk through because it's what I didn't walk. What's the point of keeping it secret? You know what I'm saying? What did you say? What good is knowledge if it's
What good is knowledge if you don't share?
Dang, bro, he said it in that voice too.
What good is knowledge if you don't share?
What good is knowledge if you? I can't do it like you, man. But no, but seriously, shout out Tim Ross because vulnerability is going to be, I think, a huge thing about this podcast.
Yes.
Because, like I said, we walked through some tough things in life, and it's kind of a weird thing in our culture that we just kind of want to put everything that's great that's going on in our lives, but that's not real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm guilty of it too. I can post all the pretty pictures of me looking like a beautiful light skin, but you know what I'm saying? That's not sometimes I don't have bad days. Sometimes I sit and cry in my room because some things aren't going well, and most people don't put that on there, or if you do put it on there, then everyone kind of assumes that you're trying to be a pick me, but that's real life. Everybody walks through those moments, and we want to be able to tackle those issues of vulnerability. And we just came from another meeting where we were talking about toxic masculinity, and we want to be kind of a counterculture, if you will, because culture is something that's big for me. Me and Bryson, we've kind of had conversations about that. Culture is probably my biggest passion. And impacting the culture. We do politics, you can do all the other stuff, but if you don't have the culture, you don't have people's hearts, and you can't really change anything. And so we're about heart change and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's important. What do you think? You know what I'm saying?
Man, if you want to build a team, you want to build a culture, a business, if you want to build a team, a business, you gotta have a culture. And man, if you don't have community, that culture of community, then nothing will go forward. It says in Psalms, I think it's 16 or something like that. Y'all don't quote me on that, but it's somewhere in Psalms. It talks about if the foundations fall, how can the righteous move forward? And if you don't have the right culture, the right foundation, how can you progress in this life? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what we took a lot of. Intentionality. That's another thing that's really big. But we took a lot of intentionality in establishing a culture from the beginning. There's a reason that we have 7 principles: the grace and mercy, love and kindness, truth and wisdom leading to righteousness. And that's because, we're going to have moments where everything's going great in our lives, or, we're really about the pod. And then we're going to have moments of weakness where we're ready to either give into a popular opinion or do something, go chase after something like money. But these principles keep us established to the culture, because it's not about us, you know what I'm saying? It's about you guys, exactly. And it's about serving the Lord. Because that's the two biggest principles. The 2 biggest commandments that's given in the Bible is that Jesus talks about that, loving God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, and loving others above yourself. And so we want to create a culture of that and always keep it not about us, but about other people. You want to say something to that? It sounded like you were about to like interject.
Oh no, bro, I'm just listening to you.
Oh.
I'm letting them cook.
Let them cook. Let them cook.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but I mean that's big, and like intentionality is the big thing. Now I just said that you should talk about intentionality and stuff like that.
Intentionality, man. Shout out Verge. You know what I'm saying? Verge says he's the champion of the word intentionality, and
Truly is.
I agree with him because being intentional is such a big thing. You know, I take it like this analogy. I would rather you do something for 4 hours one day, work hard at it, than give me complete mediocrity 30 minutes a day. Because, you know, I think people tend to value the action of, you know, I'm doing this, that, and the third, instead of actually like putting forth the effort to be intentional and be purposeful with what they're doing. And that's what we're trying to do, man. Just trying to be purposeful with the words that we say, the way we interact with people, the way we interact with each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, we talked about it once again at this event that we were just at. Like, you can talk all day. Like, talking is so easy. And that used to be one of the biggest things that would frustrate me about teenagers, because like I started like a political organization in my youth. Even though I'm like only like not even a full year removed from being an adult. I mean, from becoming an adult. But anyways, I started this like political organization like 16, and you know, I shout out to all the wonderful people who worked on it. We had a bunch of awesome people, but we also had a lot of fickle people, because talking is a wonderful thing. People love to talk. People love to get angry and do all the things. But when it comes down to action, action is uncomfortable. And anytime that you got to do something that's uncomfortable, you are a lot less likely to do it. And it requires that intentionality, because you can talk about building culture. You can talk about the podcast you're going to start. You can talk about the habit that you're going to do. You can talk about the bad habit that you're going to break. You can talk about all of that. But if you're not intentionally taking steps every day to make that happen, then nothing's going to happen. And you know, like you put it best with like, you can have 40 years experience in 1 year, or you can have 40 years of 1 year of experience. Hold up. You can have 1 year experience 40 times. So basically what I'm saying, like you can do something for 40 years and not get any better at it because you're not being intentional about growing in it. Yeah. Or you can be super intentional about growing on something and you can skyrocket like exponentially. Yeah. Yeah. Cause I remember like, I have this example, like I used to work at Whataburger. Also shout out Whataburger, bro. We're just shouting out everybody, you know, yes, name dropping, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, used to work at Whataburger, and I was doing the training videos, and then they were like, oh yeah, we don't have the laptop anymore. So here's a hat and just go for it. You know what I'm saying? And I was baptized with fire. I'm talking like thrown into it. And it wasn't even like a chill day. Like it was a very, very busy day. And they put me in the front counter. And so that entire day, I was just figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? And I had to be super intentional about everything because people were going to be yelling at me about their Whataburger and how their French fries are cold and I got their onion rings wrong or whatever. Because if I wasn't intentional about learning how to do that job, it wasn't going to go well. And I could say like I became like I think I became a really good employee after a few months. I have no idea if I actually was, but I thought I was a really good employee after like a couple months, and that's because I was just thrown into it. And when you're thrown into something, sometimes it works out, and it did because I had to be intentional about learning. And I had another friend. She was also exact same experience, and we ended up both being really good Whataburger employees. Hey. And so that's why intentionality is so important. Yes. Did you like type something on your computer? Yeah, you finna read something.
Oh, you was just talking about how we can talk all day. And it says in Proverbs 10:19, man, too much talk leads to sin. Be sensible and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, that's good. This is like I forget, it's either in Proverbs or Ecclesiastes, but it talks about like fools need to babble. And if you can be a man of action or you can be a man of words, but like what's going to mean more to other people? I think a reason a lot of people, you can have influence a lot of people when you're a man of leading by example. Because leading by words is not going to do anything. You know that phrase, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. That is some bad advice and it's bad leadership. Like you cannot be a good leader if you're not actively doing the things that, you know, you are talking about.
Exactly.
You wanting other people to do, because, you know, you're the example. Like, and if you're not the example, who is going to be the example? And then if someone else becomes the example, why should they listen to you and not the person who's becoming the example? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Dang, that was kind of.
Gosh, okay. This man coming with the heat.
Yeah,
first
shoot.
Episode. Straight shoot.
I didn't even know. I have no idea how long this video is either. So hopefully this is this is a good amount. But shoot, man. No, I mean, this is hopefully the heat that we could provide for you every single episode. And so shoot, you got anything that you want to close out with?
Oh man. Not much, bro. I'm just thankful, bro.
Yeah, that's actually good. Actually, thank you for reminding me. Like, thank you. I mean, we've already thanked some people. We want to thank them again. Once again, thank you, Travis, bro. Like,
Yes,
I want to look you in your eye and tell you how much you mean to both of us, how much of an impact you made. I want to look into this camera, and even if you're not watching on a YouTube video, I want to look into this camera and say thank you to all the people who are tuning in. You know, me and Bryson, we made a pact. Another thing that we got from Tim Ross, actually, because Tim Ross is the GOAT, is to basically, we're not checking the metrics for the first month. And this episode is dropping March 2nd. It's currently like February 21st. On the first episode, like I said, you're watching, so you know. It comes out March 2nd. And so for the entire month of March, we will not be checking metrics. We posted like an Instagram reel, like what, a week ago now, or almost a week ago. And we have no idea how many likes it has. We do know how many followers we have just because it's right there. But like we won't be checking because we want to be as, you know, authentic and intentional about what we talk about as possible, and not be, you know, let views and kind of those physical, like, unimportant things get in the way of recording it. But I say all that to say that, like, thank you guys for all of the support that you've given us. We do have like over like 260 something followers or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that, following our account. And that's less than a week, because this is recorded on Tuesday. The account was created like on Thursday. And it's already got that many people. And that, you know, we thank y'all, we thank God, because the favor that y'all have shown us and the favor that the Lord has shown us is like just crazy. And so I wanted to say thank you. And, you know, Bryson, you want to continue?
Man, shout out to all the followers, all the people that just, you know, been here supporting us, upholding us. Man, y'all are blessings, truthfully. Y'all empower us to, you know, just keep going, man. And we couldn't thank y'all enough. You know, thank y'all for partnering with us on this journey, and we're excited to see where it goes.
Very excited to see where it goes. Thank you for all the people who. I know some people are gonna they're gonna hear this podcast and they're never gonna watch a video, and they don't know who I am and they don't know who you are, and they just randomly checked it out, and they're gonna think I'm like 6'2", and like dark skin, but like they're gonna find this like really tiny like looking light skinned boy. But you know, we out here doing it. But anyways, yeah, thank you to all the people reshared too. You know what I'm saying? Like all the people who did that. We really appreciate it. And you know, we are excited to start this journey, continue this journey. I think we're doing episodes every other week, correct?
Yeah.
Every other week, until we get out of school. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back. At least that is the plan. That's the plan. Yeah. Show him your muscles again.
You
the people on
saying?
that. Yeah, shoot. He be lifting weights.
Hey, man, I just go to school here. But we will let you know if anything changes.
But yeah, we will definitely let y'all know. Follow YV.podcast on Instagram. And that's Y as in Young, V as in Vagabond, .podcast.
Gosh.
Yeah. Tune into that because that's where we're going to be. The avenue for most of our information, that's where our link tree is to be able to access it and watch it and stuff like that. And so... yeah, check that out. Continue to follow us. We're excited to do all of this, man, and thanks for tuning in.
Yes, sir. Y'all be blessed.
Y'all be blessed.
Yeah, I need a bag. Como se dice? I make a banger that got it on replay. Why they talking about he say, she say? Probably gon' slide in there, yeah.